Hello, everybody, and welcome to this OWCS stream. I'm Newbeat, that's Biscuit, and we're getting ready to see a match here between students of the game and Vice. Biscuit, how's it going? I'm excited to be here with you, and this should be a good match.
Yeah, I'm doing very good. Look, it's 2 p.m. It's prime time. The sun is up in the sky, and I actually get to see like some of my favorite personalities right here. I'm just saying, if you've been on Overwatch Twitter, there's a big personality here, PGE. I am so honored to be casting the GOAT of Overwatch, But it's not only PGE who we're talking about, right? We have SOG versus by students of the game, or however you want to call them. I think SOG is gonna be kind of the name for this stream, so get used to that. It's a little too many words, right? So Rack
Yeah,
Attack, Infected versus NBM, Skyer, Sloth, Logic, Hinged. A lot of these people ranked very high in the Faceit ladder, like number 18 for the case of Skyer. But as I've said before, I think the person that I want to see a lot here, Newbie, is going to be PG. This guy, you see him on bots, everyone loves him. Recently, maybe
yeah.
because of the wrong reasons, a haircut that didn't go so well, but I'm very excited, Newbie.
Listen, everybody's had a bad haircut at least once. It's happened to all of us. But yeah, like PG is absolutely cracked, so I'm really excited to see PG. As well, Infected, it's been around forever, so Infected is always fun to watch. Me personally, I love Cal as well. I love some Canadian content, so I like to see that. As you can see, we are going to Nepal for the first map. So, Biscuit, what are you expecting here on Nepal?
Look, the patches have been a little rough lately, and we've seen something happen very often when like Orisa gets buffed, right? Immediately Orisa meta. So I'm expecting to see some kind of hard brawl that just is looking to go in, settle down on that point, and not move. However, on this first fight, anything could happen, Yubin. I think we're gonna see like these compositions really like to favor taking the high ground, grabbing like that sort of Kree Sojourn, Lucio Kiriko. Look at that, like immediately Orisa, Symmetra Sojourn. Kind of what I've been saying, right? Symmetra along a lot of sustained damage that allows you for a lot of mobility if you're able to coordinate with your team, which is exactly what they're gonna do. Like, so these guys are some of the best Overwatch players that we have right now, and they will just show you what this composition is all about. It's about going fast with your Lucio. It's about TPing with Symmetra and just keeping her up, because as long as Symmetra's alive, Newbie, there's a winnable fight in our hands. 1 second, and we're walking out. Students of the game versus Vice starting right now. First to 3 for everyone that doesn't know.
And it looks like so far both teams have switched off the Symmetra right away. They're going with the Tracer, so some straight up mirror matches to start us off as both teams getting over to the point quickly, utilizing that Lucio's speed boost, getting onto the point, poking back and forth, no eliminations just yet. Both teams playing it a little bit slow, waiting for this point to unlock. As we can see right now, Infected just staying there on the point, and they get the first kill with the Javelin. That is absolutely massive for teams of the game, and now they are going to walk forward with the numbers advantage, and this fight is in their hands as they get the first cap.
A singular pick is all that you need to win one of those fights. Tracer's going to be going down, and with no tank, there's nothing that you can do. Bicycle just grab a couple of staggers right here, just extending that timer that they have to take over this point, and just a fight that's ended before it even really started. You mean a Javelin that comes from downtown, and you already have an Orisa hold and a beat coming up on the side of Bice.
That's some really good cooldown management there, and obviously Infected getting those Javelin kills to start off the fight is going to be pivotal going forward, 20% away from that Terror Surge as well. As once again, now we see the teams coming together, and now Scissors coming down from the high ground on that Tracer, not able to confirm kill, and they'll rotate back around to the point. Nothing just yet, just holding on, playing this slow. Right now, the team on the point just with a massive advantage of positioning, and PG hitting a rail shot, and with a stick coming through, that's going to be Scissors getting the 2-piece. And this is going to be another win, and right now the Scissors just popping off on that Tracer a little bit.
And Infected kind of sending a little bit of a message, the Terror Surge gets no one, but it will for sure affect the mental, I guess. You never know with these players, like 66% newbie. They haven't even gotten a fair fight on the side of students of the game, and I don't know how they are going to get one. But this beat and continual rush better be massive, because this rush is going to be your way of getting in, and the Terror Surge might be your way to 1% at least on this point.
this fight will be the battle of the support ultimates coming out. Both sound barriers have been used. Oxer able to get one kill with the Javelin. Those Javelin kills starting out the fight. Cal is able to trade one back, finding a kunai shot with the Kariko. And both teams fighting for the point right now, 90%. And counting. Sloth pushing forward, trying to get a kill, but Cal finds two. And the support line is bloodthirsty to start off this game, Biscuit. And Cal's going to find a third, and that's going to do it for the first round of the day.
Look, I'm just saying, buys, they understand their roles, you know, the DPS get the kills, but the supports as well, like, you are not going to leave them behind you. But when you're at this level of Overwatch, it's not just about the tank gets damaged, the DPS kills people, the support heals only. No, they're all doing their part, they're all doing everything at the same time. And I think that was just a statement from the side of students of the game, right? A little bit of confusion right there with which team was who, but now students of the game, the ones that just got their hands of the first point, and now looking to just seal the deal on Nepal. Might be a Sigma, might not be, as we saw at the beginning. It's going to be Symmetric TP into a Tracer switch, because Tracer applies a lot of pressure to the backline. Your Kiriko has to use, Susu has to use TP in order to get out from all of that pressure, but this map might make a little bit of a difference. A lot of sustain, but now if you're on bias, you need this map to die immediately with your Tracer putting that pressure on the backline.
Yeah, this Tracer is so important, and obviously such a strong hero right now until the next patch comes out. Is going to be something that both teams really want to use, kind of creating some of that space, getting into the backline.
No.
And Sloth going down into the pit. That is not what you want to see if you're a Tracer. PGE is able to find another rail shot, and this point is unlocked. And students of the game are really just going to get that first cap for free after the really unfortunate demise of Sloth.
Right. Sloth, you don't want to see that on a highlight reel, trust me. But at the end of the day, it was a quick fight, nothing too disastrous, like a lot of staggers. It's quick percentage for students of the game, but Vice is back just as soon as they have to get out of there. Flux is coming up, and now taking on over this left side, the Sigma has a lot of pressure on him.
Nice accretion coming out there from Oxer, but that is going to be Cal throwing out the Immortality Field to keep Infected up and running as both Sigmas trading blows and getting very low. Scissors is able to find one in the backline as they get Skyer, and that is going to be Scissors pushing forward once again, putting pressure on those supports and being a real nuisance in the back on that Tracer. Rack Attack and Hinged are able to trade, so kills are coming back and forth, but SOG is in control of that point and so far in control of the map.
And it's more than just a nuisance, trust me. This Tracer is absolutely being lethal. Scissors baiting out the cooldowns, gets the Kiriko. Without your Kiriko, you have no sustain, right? You only have another support that is not able to give even half of the healing that Kiriko is able to give. This Pulse Bomb putting a lot of pressure on the backline. Tracer to Tracer meeting up with this Mega, and 60%. We need a fight reel like here if you want to be biased and stay in this game.
This is a good Tracer 1v1 going right now. You can see Scissors is using those health back to stay up as both Tracers just trying to find one another low, holding on to those pulse bombs as that Tracer's hard to stick. And Sloth is going to be the one to go down. PG, third person in, able to get rid of that Tracer. And now we got the overclock online. Fury Rush coming out on the other side from Skyer to see if they can do this. Now these support ults are coming out in space. We got Hinge throwing down that sound barrier as PGE is just sitting on the point, dumping in shots. Doesn't even need to use the ultimate just yet. 92%, and SOG is almost there. And this looks like it's going to do it for Nepal in extremely quick fashion. And SOG is off to a flying start.
PGE jumps off the map. They don't need to be on that point anymore because I was 100-0 and 100-0 back to back. That's just students of the game. They're more than just students. At this point, they're like graduates, like absolute masters. And Scissors, they absolutely deserve play with Tracer. As I was saying, right, putting so much pressure on that backline, you cannot breathe. I'll hate the day that I have to play against a Tracer this good, right? Look at that with a Team Mexico charm, feeling a little represented over here. And Newbie, that just went by so fast. That is of the game, locking in and getting that 1-0.
Biscuit, you said it. Like, the students of the game are really the masters right now. They were coming out flying, and Scissors on that Tracer looked really good. Like, we were going in talking a little bit more about PGE and on that Sojourn, how lethal they are. But Scissors really showed up in that round. It was... You're right. I should upgrade that nuisance to an absolute menace in the back line. Scissor looked great in that round.
Right, absolutely. No, everyone on the side of Suicide of the game was looking just absolutely perfect. The tank, never dying supports, being on point, not only on like the healing side of things, like just keeping their tank up, but always doing that little bit of extra damage to like get to your breakpoints, which in this season is very important, right? We got a couple of changes to survivability, a couple of changes to cooldowns, to healing, so now every single little bit of damage counts. I just Scissors and PG putting on an absolute masterclass. Everyone in Suicide of the game looking strong. That is not to say that Bias didn't have a couple of highlights right there, but that first map, it would be a lie to say that it was not just the students of the game show. But that's going to be 1-0. Newbie, what do we have coming up?
So we got our second map coming up here soon. I'm not entirely sure what that will be just yet. As we're going in, it looks like it's going to be Midtown coming up next. So we got a hybrid map coming up next. One thing I will be watching for, Biscuit, in this next map is Oxer on the tank role for Vice. I think they did a really good job, especially on the Orisa in the first round. Getting some eliminations, creating some of that space for Vice, and I think that matchup between the Vice tank and then Infected on the other side is going to be something to really keep an eye on as we move forward here to Midtown.
Right, and I'm a big fan of playing the Midtown. Midtown is one of those maps that really kind of allows you to play a lot of different things. You could play, for example, your normal role with Orisa. You could play Sigma, which has been one of the favorite picks for like most people. But let's look at the rest of our map pool. It's going to be Colosseo, guaranteed at the very least. Then we'll be moving on to Flashpoint, and in case we have a little bit of a tiebreaker, Rialto will be the one to break it. So Midtown. Going in, after what we saw on that second point, I think both teams will be favoring the Sigma composition, although Riss is very strong, Ramacha could happen, but I don't think the tank is particularly good right now. So, Newbie, while I'm not completely sure what will happen just yet, I think Bice really needs to come up with a plan to just counter students of the game in general.
Yeah, and like you mentioned the tank play there. I mean, Infected is known to be a very good Orisa. Obviously, we just saw them play the Sigma as well, so those are very strong picks. I really want to see what Hinged can do in that main support role or that support role as well as we go forward. Had some good Lucio plays in that first round. Did a couple of really good sound barriers that were able to keep their team up longer in the fights, even though they didn't ultimately lead to fight wins. I think those ultimates were used pretty well done. So I think Hinged will be another person to watch as we head into this next map.
I would agree. Look, there were a lot of things happening on Nepal, and its control. It's easily like one of those game modes in which things get out of hand. Sometimes kind of gets called like the team deathmatch. You kind of kill people
Yeah.
and then just go from there. But in this one, you really need to apply some kind of presence onto the point. And not to say that Citizens of the game won't do it, just because control is considered to be more like the team deathmatchy game mode. It does not mean that they will falter in any chance. However, maybe Bice will definitely adapt around how Mythdan is supposed to work. Working that payload, kind of balancing your presence plus your positioning, your killing, whatever. Mythtown could be where we turn it all around, or where, students of the game just sends us to 2-0 and puts themselves at match points.
Yeah, and we'll see if PGE wants to stick on the Sojourn as well. That'll be another thing we'll be able to find out pretty early because there are some longer sightlines here in Midtown. You have some of those long corridors, you have some of those long streets. So maybe we see a different hit scan type DPS come out for PGE. But I mean, if I were PGE and I could play Sojourn like that, I might just stick to Sojourn forever.
Right. If you're the best soldier around, why not just take it? And beautiful angle from our observers. Big shout outs to the production team bringing you this shot. The OWO Bleach, I'm assuming. We don't know, but the Sigma on the side of students of the game. Again, as a caster, you kind of have to get used to getting trolled by what they pick and what not. But having a little bit of fun in the streets of Midtown. Bias maybe walking out on Orisa. Nothing quite assured yet, but it looks like Citizens of the game walking out on the Life Weaver for the Sigma comp.
Okay, like listen, I had a lot of predictions or a lot of conceptions of what was going to happen in this game. I don't think playing a bunch of Lifeweaver was in the cards for me, so that's going to be a real fun one to watch now, is Rack Attack on the Lifeweaver.
Lifeweaver, Ilari, PG is out on Sochi, so they are on Korean, walking out on the Hawk comp, guys, going insane, pulling out Infected. Hey, I'm just saying, without Lifeweaver, Infected dies there. There's no way he gets out.
That's a really good piece of the Lifeweaver kit as well, getting that extra mobility from the pull. And I'm gonna be honest, something I forget in my games happens sometimes because you just don't see a ton of Life Weaver where I play, at least not lately. But finally, Vice coming forward and trying to get some extra space, getting forward closer onto the point. Never mind coming around the left-hand side, seeing if they can get an early pick. Sloth going very low, and is going to go down to the melee of Scissors, and that is going to be the advantage going to SOG, and now they're going to just start cleaning up these other kills as the Orisa gets cordoned off in this left-hand room, and they are going to fall to the floor. And with PG finding 2 on the cast, that is going to be a fight win here for SOG, and their defense is off to a strong start.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go. PG just absolutely running at them with the pocket Kiriko, and headshot after headshot. This Tracer solo. Kiriko might just get the 1v1, but Live Grip won't save them. Skyer, huge pick. No more PG means that there's no more long range damage, and this is your one chance of your Vice to get on that point.
Skyer reminding PG that you gotta respect the headshots coming in from that Kiriko, as Vice is now over and firmly planted on the point. Already getting 1 cap in the bag, and now it's going to be up to SOG to see if they want to recontest here and try and bleed some more time off the spot. Coming forward, the accretion comes out from Infected, is able to knock over OWCS, but Vice is sticking in onto the point. Cal is able to get 1 in onto Hinged, and now with PG finding an elimination as well. This is going to be SOG taking it right over PG, finding 3, finding 4. PG is absolutely going crazy.
Look, they might have lost the 1v1 versus Skyer, and I think that gave them the fuel they needed to come back with an absolute vengeance. And big shout out to Cal and Rakatak getting their ultimate so fast to the point that it was enough to flip that point, and they still have a Flux, they still have a Pulse Bomb, and a Deadeye, which might not be the best ultimate in the game, but you have to respect it, newbie. Vice going in from the left side, taking over small room, Cal gets out, and this might be a little bit of a messy attack.
Yeah, Students of the Game has a little bit of an advantage in the ultimate category as they are going for beat coming out from Vice, but that's only going to find a couple players, so not getting the full value out of that Lucy ultimate. But Sloth is doing a lot of damage to Infected and does finish him off as Nevermind goes down as well. PG with the zoning Deadeye up top is able to just get some people off the point for Vice, but they are back on and they are getting the cap. And the last second, Scissors is able to touch and keep this going, and now Cal's able to get the kill in onto Sloth, and that is going to be the go button for Students of the Game, getting back in onto the point. Nevermind is able to find 1 with the rail shot, but will it be enough for this attack to be successful? It doesn't look like it. Nevermind backing up here, and that is going to be a bit of a stall coming out again, and now we're down to 50 seconds, Biscuit, and this is starting to look dicey for Vice.
Yeah, you cannot celebrate even if you think you're 8% away. Sure, just on the hog gambit. There is no anti, there's no support that can really like screw him over. And never mind, coming in on the left side, this overclock, it could be huge on this off angle. No more pylon means no more healing from the Rilari. Absolutely nothing there. And Infected is on Doom. So the 30 seconds, this will be your last fight. Newbie, this overclock will happen and hopefully it's big.
This overclock could be the key that unlocks the door for Vice as they get over for the final, possibly the final engagement of this round. Skyer has the Kitsune Rush ready and waiting as well because the Tree of Life going down onto the point from Rack Attack, and that is going to start it off. Scissors is able to find 1 with the Pulse Bomb, and that could be the death knell now for Vice as they lose another member of Sloth, goes down to the punch from Infected. And now it is just cleanup duty for the members of Student of the Game. Deadeye comes out and that is going to get rid of Hinge. And that is going to do it for Vice's attack. And Students of the Game has not lost a step yet.
Students of the Game for a second looking like they were faltering, right? You get a pick on Sigma and it's so close. Newbie, the whole time you're so close to just getting on that point and finishing it off 8% away. And just Students of the Game with masterful retakes, right? Scissors is not scared at all to contest on Tracer. You might not have the best HP in the whole world, but when you have movement like that, you're not going to get shot ever. 15 seconds, and I just want to give a shout out to Bias for walking out on Hawk Comp, almost getting the pick on Infected. And look, I'm just saying, in my Copper games, no one picks Liveweaver. I cannot believe that they do it at this level either. So it could have been so awesome, you know, like imagine they just pick off Infected instantly. We would be seeing a game with buys with 5 minutes on the time bank, right? But it doesn't happen just because of the Liveweaver being there. But it's fine. Orisa comp has been chosen. Infected is on Ryan, and it's gonna get messy, man.
I was so excited to see Infected on the Reinhardt because I have seen that before and it's awesome. Unfortunately, with them being on the attack, they can still, move things around. So Infected going back to the Sigma and basically with students of the game only needing 93%, they really have a winnable scenario coming up here.
Yeah, it's absolutely winnable. And when you have players like Sisters and PGE just absolutely hitting every shot that they take, there's no way that you can ever lose this, right? Well, we don't know yet. Bice locking on the Orisa comp. This is definitely like the survivability comp. You have to keep Scar alive though, because Sisters have been an absolute menace. And the second your reflex support goes down, I don't think you will be lasting any longer. Sisters taking a little bit of damage, taking over that left side, and Newbie. This game just started, and the students of the game looks in control right now.
They're just trying to hold onto the high ground for as long as they possibly can, trying to keep any scrap of an advantage they can hold onto as they stay up there. And now PG is moving over and rotating to the left side of the truck, getting a couple of shots in onto up there. But Cal's able to find the first kill with the headshot, and this could be over just as quickly as it's begun. In fact, they're just going over on the point. You have to use the kinetic fast to get a little bit of extra shields as they stay in on the point. And Scissors is going to murk Skyer, and that is going to be SOG moving in onto the objective. And now they've already taken 1 and now 2 ticks as we have Vice coming back in for the hole, but it's just going to be Hinged going down to the shot of Rack Attack, Immortality Field onto the point, just to ensure that Students of the Game is going to take this round and take it convincingly.
PGE shooting Hinge's body, just having a little bit of fun with it. And look, I say they earned it. Newbie right now, it looks like Students of the Game is just unstoppable. PGE with the 4K, do not forget the play that they got. Like at the beginning of this, they got picked up by Sky in a 1v1 that was tragic, but there's one shot, a nade, and it leads into the headshot. Like this is just masterful DPS, double headshot, doesn't even look at the Orisa, and fans the hammer to take them out.
Listen, like when you see PG make a play of the game like that, like I'm sitting here thinking, does he get like a different Cassidy than I do? Because there's no way I'm pulling that off. Like PGA just rolling through the members of Vice, and they had nothing to do to answer it. And with that, we have SOG moving on to a map point. They're up 2-0, so they just need one more. And Biscuit, if you're on the side of Vice here, if you're a Vice fan, like what are you looking for them to get at in this next map? Because it's do or die. They could get 3 out here.
I am scared. Newbie, look, I am a big fan of like the close games, but it looks like today is not so much of a close one. Like 2-0 in Nepal, not even 1% up to that point. Of course, Midtown looking a little bit better. Tragic that they just happened to be on Lifeweaver for that first play, but then the rest of that was just not even gimmicks, just definitely strong fundamentals from the side of Students of the Game. So moving into Colosseo, Newbie, I think if you're a Vice fan, you want them to win the first fight. Win the first fight. Colosseo is one of those maps that it punishes you like immediately for losing the early game. So this could be where it all turns around, but I have to say it. Students of the Game just right now looks like they have no match.
And that's a really good point here going into Colosseo with it being a push map, is that map type can be really snowbally, right? You win a fight or two and it's really hard for the team that's lost those early fights to come back. And if those first 2 maps are any indication of how the third map is going to go, it almost starts Vice kind of behind. If they lose a fight or 2 to start on the flip side, it's going to be really tough for them to come back. So really trying to see what Vice is going to do here, but the coordination from Students of the Game right now seems to just reign supreme. Like a lot of these players know each other. We've talked a little bit about how a lot of them are well known in the Overwatch community for what they can do on these heroes, and it's just shining through right now. You can see the quality in these players, and that is such a tough obstacle to overcome if you're Vice.
Yeah, I agree. Look, Bice definitely has an uphill battle from the beginning, right? You're going against PG, you're going against Sisters, you're going against all these players that you know as well, right? Like, these people queue into each other, they play against each other, they practice against each other. But at the end of the day, like, when it's the actual game, it looks like Students of the Game is just locked into as locked in as it can be. And Newbie, sometimes I feel like they could definitely turn around, and I think Colosseo is the one chance that you have to do it. And if they do, moving into New Junk City, it's again one of those maps that definitely rewards aggressive play and winning those early fights, so that it snowballs into more and more percent, more and more bot progress. We don't know yet. So while it could be a 3-0, this could be the beginning of a comeback. And just for the sake of having an exciting game, I hope that happens. I trust in Bias because they had some good plays right there.
I do, and I mean, outside of a tracer who will not be named that might have gone off the map on the first map, there haven't really been any like terrible mistakes coming out from the side of Vice. They're not throwing away ults. They're not ajaxing. They're not getting super staggered in these fights. So I think the 2-0 scoreline is actually maybe a little bit closer when you think of the fact that these fights, yes, students of the game are winning most of these engagements, but it's not like it's that far apart. They're just, a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more well drilled, well coached. And that seems to be what's come out over the first two maps. So if Vice can stick to their plan and continue to not make these mistakes, maybe they can get some momentum going and really take us to a fourth map.
Absolutely, and I'm really hoping for a fourth map because these players definitely deserve to just show us what they are all about, right? Bias, as you said, right? Maybe a little bit of a trip and fall from the side of Sloth, but it doesn't matter, you can forget about it. Students of the game looking like they might walk out with Infected on the Sigma, and unless my eyes are deceiving me, this Zarya could be a little bit of like the trump card, right? Thank you to Observers for bringing us awesome angles of Coloseo. I love the design of this map. 10 minutes, newbie. These maps last forever. Could students of the game just speedrun this map, or could Bice turn it all around? With this Genji and Tracer, they might just be going all in.
We got OWCS on that Zarya, like you mentioned, and that's really going to make or break this composition coming out from Vice as NBM on the Genji as well, so never mind on that Genji, and that is an interesting pick, but really maybe some comfort picks coming out from Vice. You're just seeing if they can get their foot in the door as these matches. These players are coming together. Infected getting solo. Nice Susan coming out there from Cal to keep their tank alive. Infected got so close to drying, basically limit testing the Sigma right now, but they have not found that ceiling as now the teams are moving over onto the point. So far the charge is there for the Zarya, now pushing forward. High charge, once again Infected getting so very low, can't grasp it, but another Susie comes out. Cal has been hitting those with regularity. Scissors is able to find one, so the numbers advantage now has gone to students of the game. But as I say that, never mind, Enox are back in, able to get two picks, and that is going to be Vice looking like they're going to take this first fight here. The supercharged Zarya showing up.
This is the beginning of something great. It's like what we're saying, right? Definitely a couple of missteps from the first two maps, but they go aggressive. They see Hinge die, and you see Except for a couple of seconds turning around. Should we go back? No, we're going all in. Play fast and Sloth. Beautiful pulse bomb. You need to bait out a couple of cooldowns, and that's exactly what they do. Infected on the Ryan, your wish has been fulfilled, UB.
Right, yeah, Infected on the old school Reinhardt, and that is obviously a pretty good counter to Zarya as well, so probably playing into that mindset is Infected pushing forward, but the continuing rush is going to come out from Skyer, and now they're going to all be locked up inside that grab. Sound barrier comes up from Rack Attack, and that sound barrier is absolutely huge. It keeps SOG alive, and now they can counterpunch. Everybody getting kills for students of the game, and they're right back in this fight.
Beautiful from the side of students of the game. Investing a couple of ultimates, like you'll be definitely countering that Zarya grab, which would have absolutely put them in the third. Good job from the side of Rack Attack, getting that ultimate so fast, even after losing the first fight, right? Moving on to the Rissa, no more Zarya, because if you're zero charge Zarya, there's no way you're breaking through Ryan, right? There's just no way to do that. Rack Attack going on that Lucio, probably looking for an aggressive play, scouting a couple of angles, never mind, has a blade, and there's nothing to answer it on the side of students of the game.
Alright, Vice ready to unsheath that blade at a moment's notice. PG does a 100 rail charge, and Infected's gonna get the kill onto the Genji. I guess the silver lining there is Nevermind still has that blade for the next fight, but they're not using it now, and the cleanup is coming through for SOG, and they are going to soldier on forward. Sloth though doing whatever they can to keep this going, able to get someone the melee one with the pulse bomb before they hit the deck, so Sloth doing what they can, but Students of the Game is going to keep pushing this bot forward, and now they're in the lead.
That's still really good from the side of Sloth, right? They were able to get 2 picks. Of course, the fight is over, but this denies any extra progress that Students of the Game would have gotten. But now, if you're hinged, you need to be playing on these walls, looking out for that infected shatter, right? The second that they press Q, you have to be doing it as well. And if you're Students of the Game, just get this beat out, you will win the fight, no matter what you do. So never mind, you have Blade. Let's see what you can do with it.
The beat and the blade for Bison. Now the Shatter's gonna come out from Infected, and that finds NBM. And now the beat comes out from Hinge, but it's too late to save the Genji. OWCS is able to trade that back and get PGE. And that means that Vice is not out of this fight just yet. Trying to stick in it and hanging on, but there's a Kitsune Rush coming out as Cal was 10% ahead. Nice eat though from OWCS, able to get that Pulse Bomb off the field. That could be a massive play coming out from Vice's tank as they are pushing forward. They got the Terror Surge online. They're going to have to eat this pin first though, as Infected transports them swiftly into the back line. Blade out as well from Nevermind, getting in the back, seeing if they can slice anyone down. And they are able to finish off Infected. And that is going to be Vice taking the advantage, taking these kills. And they're going to get this bot back close to the lead.
BGE goes down to Nevermind, and I just have to say, at the beginning, that blade looks so underwhelming, right? But playing patient, do not consume your dash, because then you can play off of Xur, and that's a disastrous fight for students of the game. You lost your beat, you don't have your overclock anymore, and you're now on the Orisa mirror with Vice on the ultimate advantage side, right? You almost have beat, you have a pulse bomb ready, and this is slowly starting to look like Vice taking control, but PGE manages to get Skyer.
EG could turn this fight right in onto his head, getting one kill onto Skyer, like you mentioned, Biscuit, and now Students of the Game is pushing back forward. The counter punch coming through whenever they lose a fight, they are quick to get right back into it here. The reflect kill coming in onto Cal, they were a little bit too confident on that play, but Rack Attack, the other half of that support line for SOG, is going to finish off the Genji. And the payload is, or the bot, sorry, is back to neutral. PG is able to find another magnetic grenade final blow, and both teams not really wanting to push so far, but it looks like Students of the Game has the advantage once again.
Sloth flies a little bit too close to the sun, you know, they try to get out to just escape PG, but there's no escaping this guy. And this pulls one from Sisters, you need something. Like, Sisters going to get baited, and Hinge has ultimate, so this beat is what you need just to control this fight, because they just got their members back, 5 members that were back to neutral. New beat, this game is as close as ever, and it looks like Vice is slowly starting to find their footing.
Both these teams just trading A-makers right now, not wanting to give in at all. And now the Kitsune Rush has come out for Skyer, and that is going to be the go button for the members of Vice getting forward, trying to get behind that window so they can avoid some of that damage. Sound barrier is on the field now from Rock Attack, but Nevermind's able to find one in onto Cal. And could that be the first of many? Scissors is able to get one, but Vice as a team is able to get 3 plus more. Nice long-range javelin coming out from OWCS as well. But this is going to be Vice taking control of the bot and getting it back and getting a larger lead. Vice, is, as you mentioned, Biscuit, is looking better and better as this map goes on.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see, right? We got a little bit of run, we got Vice slowly coming back from a disastrous first couple of games, and this Terror Surge from Infected is going to drop them so low, and that will be Xur, that will be NBM. Well, for the exchange of a Terror Surge, that's not bad at all. No checkpoint for the side of Vice, so this fight is far from over. If you want to get that comeback, you have to work for it, because Students of the Game is not gonna gift it to you. We're seeing a Pulse Bomb, we're seeing a Deadeye, but Vice definitely has a better ultimate here, right, with the side of Terror Surge. A lot of survivability, a lot of burst damage, and PG will not be able to get out with that puny roll of McCree. Trust me, a lot of damage, but not a lot of mobility.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Gatsby in this next fight here, and that's what's going to happen to the Gatsby. No mobility at all as they are dead, and that is going to put Vice right back in on the front foot, trying to push forward and get more of these eliminations. You see them moving as a group now. Scissors is able to find a headshot in on the Skyer, and just like that, Scissors gets 2 and Infected back. Scissors finds a triple. The Tracer going absolutely bananas right now. Scissors are Infected, combining for all 5 final blows in that fight. And this could be Students of the Game taking the lead back over, depending on how far they can get this push bot going.
They don't get too ahead of themselves. Students of the Game definitely has a couple of members down. PGE is not here just yet. That pulse bomb will go nowhere, but it pushes them out. There's no more bot progress. The Students of the Game can get here easily, but now you have to get them out of this little underpass, and Skyer almost has a Kitsune Rush. Going with a Terror Surge, maybe from the side of Xur. 1 HP on PGE, and this is your time to go in.
That was a great javelin coming up from OWCS, but they weren't able to confirm the kill. And now trying to mitigate as much damage as again from the Deadeye. It's not going to find any targets as the support ultimates once again are being traded back and forth. Cal able to get one in, but that is traded out. The supportal combat happening once again. Hinge is able to get rid of Infected, so neither team has the purposes of their Orisa. Cal's going to find the headshot in on the spot. This push bomb might just make it, and that is going to be the sound barrier coming up from Hinge, trying to keep the lower members of their team in this fight. Vice fighting tooth and nail, seeing if they can pull this one out, and they can! NBM's able to find 2, and with Hinge getting a 3rd, Vice is right back in the driver's seat, and they still have the lead.
NBM, the absolute hero of that fight, getting the 2 picks, and sure, and Infected just trusting their teams. Hey, I'm going to just go die on top of them. I need you to do something, and that's exactly what Vice does, right? Overclock that will not be matched by anyone. Sisters almost gets hinged, and no more recall for them. So an advantage on the Tracer 1v1 is what they have. This Pulse Bomb on the side of students of the game could change it, but NBM with Overclock definitely in the driver's seat. 1 minute away, and we could be looking at our potential last fight right here, newbie.
This is going to go right down to the wire, Biscuit. We're coming back in, and there goes the Pulse Bomb. That is not going to claim anybody at all, and NBM is going to throw it out Overclock and get 1. And now that is going to be Vice cleaning up kill after kill. And they are going forward. They got the bot, and now they only have to keep this lead for another 30 seconds, and they will send us to a map 4.
And Yubi, there's a little bit of an issue right there. They stole the bot, even if it was just for a couple of seconds, and that means that you won't be getting any checkpoints on the side of Vice, right? Sticks and Scissors manages to get the trade on Hinge. This is horrible for the side of Vice. There's no more getting out. There's no more beat that you could potentially get, but you are going to be there faster than Sisters will. So there's no option for students of the game than to play this fight without Sisters, and for Vice to just regroup and use this Kitsune as fast as possible. Kitsune is your advantage, and you need to pick them off right now.
That's totally right, because if Students of the Game is able to get up to some of these ultimates, they might get that advantage as we are into overtime now. That Wick is active. That means Students of the Game can't get off the point. They're either going to win or die on bot. PG is able to find 1 with the rail shot, and Rack Attack is going to throw down that beat immediately to see if they can press the advantage. Both teams firing back and forth. Dyer has thrown out that Kitsune Rush as overtime is turning away. Scissors able to find 1 with the melee, and this could just be SOG pulling it back out. We got the beat coming out on the other side from Hinge. Could this be the saving grace of the members of Vice? It's looking like it won't be. It's Flops able to find 1 with the Pulse Bomb, but it is too little, too late. That is going to be SOG taking the map and taking the series 3-0.
I'm just saying, you might see a 3-0 up on that scoreboard, right? And Citizens of the Game, definitely a showcase of what they're able to do. Sisters, one of the best tracers I've seen in a long time. This fight was all Vice until Sisters just flew in and took it away from you. Like, triple pick it, and the damage that they did to the rest will not be underestimated. But that Coliseum was a showing of what Vice can do. So regardless of what happened there, that scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story, like, at all.
Agreed. And like that last map, NVM, both on the Genji and on the Sojourn, absolutely going crazy, getting those multi-kills. So they're my player of that last map. But I mean, Students of the Game, they just looked so clean. They didn't buckle. They had to deal with some adversity in that last map, and it didn't really seem to phase them. They went down early and were really behind most of that map on Coliseum, but they were still able to take it out with 2 fights in a row at the end.
Right, and it ends just like all things, right? With Sojourn, PGE, headshot, like 3-point liner, last second NBA. Like, it's insane what PGE was able to do right there. And just really clean from the side of Sisters, right? An awesome macro play of just going to the backline, get your trade, like for the Lucio, so that they cannot get beat. Even if they have Kitsune, you have the rest of the ultimates up on them. So newbie, of course, beautiful plays from the side of Vice, but it wouldn't be enough. You have to play absolutely perfect when it's against Students of the Game, and they falter for just a couple of seconds. They get a little overzealous, you get headshot, and it's a 3-0. But that was a banger of a map 3.
Yeah, that last map especially really got my blood pumping. I loved it. And hopefully we get to see more of that from Vice in the matches going forward. But before we sign off for a little bit here, Biscuit, I wanted to ask you, do you have a player of the match? Was there somebody you really wanted to shout out from Students of the Game there that really stood out for you?
Look, my inner Overwatch player really wants to say PGE. I'm like such a big fan, but I think that was the Sisters show. Like, Sisters, all respect to Sloth, but the Tracer in that match was Sisters. There was no competition. Like, every single time that there's a pulse bomb, you have like your heartbeat on your hands, right? Like, you're dying to see what's gonna happen. And at the end of the day, what made a lot of those plays possible, what made it so that they couldn't get checkpoint on the side of Students of the Game, what made it so that there was a trade at the end, so the fight was a little more messy, it was all Sisters. And all the rest of those maps was definitely them landing their shots, hitting their pulses, and I think that's a player of the match easily, newbie. But what about you?
I mean, I'm gonna agree. I can't argue Scissors at all. Scissors was going nuts. Like, there's really nothing like watching a tracer at that skill level. It's just absolutely crazy, and it's a joy to watch. I mean, going into it, I was like, I'm picking Cal because, like, again, Canadian content. I love seeing it. Got to get the CanCon, but I mean, you can't argue against Scissors. Scissors was absolutely crazy. So Biscuit, I'd like to thank you for hanging out. Thanks to all the prod as well. Do you have any last words before we head out for a bit?
Nothing that you already said. Look, Newbie, it was awesome casting with you. Of course, maybe not the longest of games, maybe not the closest of games, but that Colosseo map definitely showing us what Overwatch Championship Series is all about, right? Like it's about the close games, about the excitement of just this awesome game. And as you were saying, right, shout out to all of the production because the people that you see at the front, it's me and Newbie, but you don't know how much work goes on behind the scenes just to get this overlay going, to get all of this going in general. Like the production, the organization, everything is so hard. So while the casters might be talking to you and telling you all about like the PG, the sister shots, it's trust me, there's so much more behind that. You should support
and
them
and,
all the
and
time.
Biscuit, it doesn't take a lot of work to make you look good, but it takes a lot of work to make me look good, and that's exactly what our prod did. So I gotta thank him so much. So we are going to jump to a quick break. We are going to have another match later on this channel in a little bit. So we will have Neva and Dextron later for another match. But for Biscuit, I'm Newbeat. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you back on this channel in a bit.